The Chicano Studies programs were created as a response to the Chicano movement during the 1960s and 70s. During these decades, the Chicano students protested for a change in the curriculum that would reflect the Chicano experience in the traditional disciplines such as history, sociology, and politics. What comes to mind when you think about Chicano studies?
That are relevant to the experiences of the Latino population here in the United States.
I think about Chicano studies, mainly the Chicano movement, um, but I also think about the issues involving a lot of Chicanos in different aspects, in the agricultural aspect, in the educational aspect, and the social aspect. So I just think of the different ways that Chicanos and Latinos have been oppressed by dominant society and the way that they have resisted and acted against the oppression to try to fight against it.
Interdisciplinary work, so acknowledging that knowledge isn't only one discipline, like it's not only what you're majoring in, it's not what you're training in. So I think about history and sociology and psychology and culture and dance and art around here. More broadly, I think of myself and my own community when I hear that word. Even Latino studies, I think of relating what I've been taught in school to who I am and who my community is, as opposed to just sort of learning the history of a country, but learning the history of like my people and my community and my own family and friends.
Mhm. Chicano studies courses are very beneficial to Chicano and non-Chicano individuals because not only are there courses on history, but other courses focused on providing students with the opportunity to understand the experiences, values, cultural means, political views, and socioeconomic issues of the Chicano Latino community. What are the benefits of taking a Chicano studies course?
I'm a huge proponent in people taking an ethnic studies course, like something that like if since I identify as Chicano, people who identify as Chicano should take a Chicano studies course, but also people should take a ethnic studies course of an ethnicity they don't identify with. The effect that I think Chicano studies classes have on Chicano studies students. Well, I think it's cool. Like as when I teach it, like you see a lot of deep thought. Because the students, it's engaging because it's about them. They see faces that are like theirs and hear names that are like theirs. So they get to learn about their history. It's a way to engage them in history. And so I think it's really cool. And I talk about history a lot. So my history teacher, like that's the lens that I look through at first. But I think there's a lot of beauty in taking an ethnic studies course of an ethnicity you don't belong to, especially if you interact with that ethnicity all the time. Because
I never took a Chicano Studies class till this semester, this year, and I didn't know anything about like the history of like all the movements and just like everything that had happened in like the 60s and the 70s. And I feel like if I would have known that, it would have been like a lot more helpful in like just knowing where I came from. Because like just taking this class has really like helped me, I guess like learn so much about like who I am and like where I'm from, and it's just been a very enlightening experience. So I feel
Over the years, Chicano studies programs have not always been considered on the same standard as other disciplines, due to the lack of enrollment over the years, but most importantly, since 2007 till now, the former Arizona Superintendent of Public Instructions and now Arizona's Attorney General, Tom Horn, is the sole advocate for the House Bill 2281, in which its purpose is to eliminate the ethnic studies courses from the Tucson Unified School District. What is your reaction to the House Bill 2281, which is banning the ethnic studies programs in public education?
What I know, I just think that, it reflects, some of the growing anti-immigrant sentiment that, like certain states across the U.S. feel more than others. I feel that just within Arizona it shows, how much the negative sentiments toward immigrants has grown. It's grown to an extent to where it's overridden a lot of the desires within the Latino community there, because there is a large Latino community in Arizona, and you know it's like they're pretty much like that banning is like pretending like they're not even there, you know, like they don't matter. And I feel that, you know, it's something that's very wrong, and it's something that needs to be dealt with. And I know like there's a lot of things going on in the Supreme Court right now, but it's just something that I hope gets dealt with in a, you know, in a good way in the future.
Well, always the conservative forces there oppose that, you know, people of color to have a say or to try to get our knowledge across in high schools. That is a very sad situation, because I mean I saw the film and I saw the work that people do there, the activists in Tucson, and the students when they spoke about why they needed to have classes and why it's important to know about our own culture and history and to be educated people. And if you notice the young people there in Arizona were talking about how knowing who they were and gaining that knowledge and pride of being proud of who they are is facilitated the knowledge about other subjects. So I'm really, really sad that, you know, the conservatives there try to erase the experiences and the knowledge of people of color. So I don't know what are going to be the consequences for the rest of us, because I'm sure that other conservatives are watching and taking note of what is happening in Arizona to then act against the rest of us at the different levels and in the different states. So yes, I'm all against that, of course. But
For the last 7 years, a great deal of teachers, students, and other community members have come together with one single goal in mind: to stop this bill and to bring back the ethnic studies programs that have made a positive impact in the lives of many young Chicano Latino students